This video is sponsored by Stockies, trading livestock with all the information.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from somewhere in New Zealand, it's the YouTube show with Dave Benson.
Calm down. Thank you. Thanks for pressing that button. Thank you for dialing in. Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round, because as ever, we're diving into the wild world of YouTube, where the content is as unpredictable as my Aunt Linda's cooking. Seriously, last Sunday, I wasn't sure if I was eating turkey or her latest attempt at fusion cuisine. But I digress. First up, we've got a video entitled Brotherly Bond, which has racked up a staggering 86 million views.
Mom! Study!
Mom!
Mama.
Now, I haven't seen sibling love this popular since my brother convinced me that eating a crayon would make me more colourful. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But 86 million views. Either this video is heartwarming or we've collectively decided that watching other people's families is more entertaining than dealing with their own. Moving on, YouTube's trending page is boasting 22 million views.
It's really in there. I thought this would be easy. I pulled something. It's moving.
That's right, folks. 22 million of us are so indecisive that we let an algorithm tell us what's cool. Remember when we used to have personalities and preferences? Now it's like, hey YouTube, what should I watch today? And YouTube's like, hey, how about this cat playing a piano? And we're like, yeah, that's exactly what I needed in my life. Speaking of content we never knew we needed, there's a short titled, Who Can Spit the Furthest? With 10 million views.
Oh, he's going so high.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a gymnastics challenge or a contest to see who can avoid commitment the longest. Either way, 10 million people tuned in, probably hoping to pick up some tips for their next awkward family gathering. But wait, it gets better. Blowing up a huge balloon with a single breath has 9.5 million views.
If you could do it in a single breath of air, that would be totally amazing, right? And in order to do that, you're gonna stand back there so you can see what is gonna happen. So you head back that way. All right, watch this. So now there's no air in the bag. So the secret is you put your fingers in the bag like this. You open up the bag and then you blow a fast stream of air into the bag, but you gotta keep your mouth off the bag. Watch this.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you, but if I wanted to watch someone blow hot air, I'd just go to a political rally. Yeah, here we are, mesmerized by a balloon and a person with an impressive lung capacity. What's next? Competitive nap taking? Actually, well, sign me up for that one. Lastly, we've got top devious prank gadget shorts by Mr. Degree, clocking in at 11 million views. Because nothing says quality content like encouraging people to terrorize their friends and family with gadgets that probably void the warranty on your sanity.
Yes.
Remember when the pranks were simple, like whoopee cushions? Now it's like, here's a device that makes your toilet scream when you sit down. Thanks, Mr. Degree, for ensuring I can never use the bathroom in peace again. In conclusion, these videos are a testament to the fact that we watch anything as long as it's on the internet. So keep creating, keep viewing, and remember, somewhere out there, someone is watching, and they're watching you watch them. Sleep tight. We've got some amazing guests for you today. First up is TV movie legend who is promoting his new movie, one of the good ones. It's Tom Paolino. Next, if you think you knew a thing or two about painting, well, you're going to be in good company, as we've got TV celebrity Daniel Taylor, and taking us far, far off and away with her music and her dulcet tones, we are blessed with the presence of Debbie Fry. Let's roll the titles.
Welcome to the YouTube show, madness on demand. Waves of laughter, tears, and chaos at your hand. Lost inside the streams where dreams expand. Welcome to the YouTube show, can't understand.
I'm one of the good ones. I prosecute bad ones so they're held accountable.
We're really doing the residents here a favor with our carbon capture.
Whose idea was that?
Relax, kid. Mandy's a catch, a good Irish Catholic.
So, 1285.
1285, get out of here.
I'm sorry.
Give me the cigarettes, you stupid bitch.
Gang unit's got a guy in deep with the Bloods. Says even they were surprised by this.
Half price on all masks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next guest is a multifaceted talent whose journey from the ice rinks of Brown University to the stages and screens of Hollywood exemplifies dedication and versatility. After a knee injury redirected his path from college hockey, he immersed himself in the world of acting, training under the legendary Sanford Miser, with a career spanning notable appearances in television series like The Law and Order SVU, FBI, and Blue Bloods, as well as films such as The Purge, Election Year. He has consistently showcased his dynamic range. Beyond the spotlight, he enriches lives as a yoga instructor and hockey coach, embodying commitment to both disciplines. Please join me in welcoming the ever-inspiring Tom Paolino. Tom, welcome.
Well, that has to be the best introduction I've ever had in my life. Thank you very much, Dave. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Just got back from Buffalo. We shot 9 days and we had the time of our lives. I got back to New York City where I live on Thursday night.
Wow. So I'm in New Zealand. So right here, it's Sunday morning. So you're Saturday night in New York City.
Correct. I was wondering what that backdrop was. Is that New Zealand? Is that?
No. This is New York.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that's the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's Saturday night like in New York City?
Oh man, I'm having such a good night. I'm chilling at home with my cat. I went grocery shopping. I've been crunching numbers and just relaxing. It's been such a whirlwind, and tonight is actually the first night where I'm just like relaxing.
Love it. So let's talk a bit about your journey. So you've got a fascinating but familiar journey for a lot of people in the States. You started going down one path with the sports and the hockey, and then you had to redirect. So what was that? What happened there?
Yeah, well, everything happens for the best, Dave. That's my feeling. And I was playing hockey against Northeastern. Charlie Forsilius, I still remember his name, took me out, and that was pretty much the end. It was fortuitous though, because I found acting, and although I didn't go to Brown to be an actor, they had a tremendous, and still do, theater program. So I immediately pivoted, and that's a big hallmark of my journey, is the willingness to pivot and course correct.
But it wasn't new to you, because your mother used to do a lot of theater work, I believe.
Well, you're good, man. You are good. My mother worked at the Trinity Repertory Theater, which won a Tony Award for Best Repertory Theater in the nation, and I think it was 1980, under the direction of Adrian Hall, the great Adrian Hall, artistic director there. She was in the public relations department, but they would send my mom to audition from time to time if the repertory actors weren't available. And the first plays I ever saw were at Trinity Rep.
Wow. So was there a little Tom sat watching his mother and just being inspired by what she was doing, or?
Well, my mother was always very dramatic, and still is at 83 years old. I remember going to an audition for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, booking that at 6 years old, and it just runs in our family. Even the men on my dad's side of the family are passionate. We're Italian, so it runs in our blood.
Oh, understandably. So she's obviously seeing what you're doing now. Is she a proud mother to see that you've grown into that world?
I think she's pretty fired up, Dave. I think she has a pretty good idea of what a accomplishment it is to raise money and shoot a feature film. I raised that money myself, and she's been watching it all along. Yeah.
Has she ever acted with you? Have you ever brought her in?
It's funny. I had her audition for a part in one of the good ones, and she was absolutely brilliant. But at 83 years old, my aunt and I thought it would be better to not ship her off to Buffalo. You know, she's good in Rhode Island, and I think it all worked out perfectly. We ended up with the right person in that part.
How on earth did you give your mother that message, Tom? How on earth did you let her down to say,
Well,
I'm sorry?
well, it's a fringe benefit of early dementia, actually, Dave, because I don't think he remembers.
So a key question I've got, are you holding out for Mighty Ducks 4? Because I'm thinking about it with your hockey background and your acting. I mean, this is a match made in heaven.
I love the game of hockey. I went and saw the Rangers play the Bruins not too long ago. I was on the ice this morning coaching at the World Ice Arena here in Queens. And I love the game. I would love to be in a hockey movie. It's actually a dream of mine to be a coach in a hockey movie because I coach now and I love it.
Well, Emilio's not going to do it anymore, so you'd be
No,
perfect.
I'll take his place, man.
So your Italian grandmother,
Yeah.
she was always your backer and your biggest supporter. I can very much relate to that in my family because my grandmother was the key supporter I had in my ring. So has she seen your accomplishments? Did she get to see the push that she gave you to be able to watch you grow?
You know, it's funny. My grandmother passed away in 2004, but I feel her presence every day, and I'm absolutely certain that she knows what's going on. I really am. My grandmother had a great vision and was a woman of beauty and truth. That's what Enos Garganese was her name, and she beautified everything. She had a beauty parlor. She would pick up trash off the sidewalk, beautify the sidewalk, and she didn't talk much, but when she did, she had thought about it, and it was the truth. So she was a great purveyor of beauty and truth.
And being an Italian grandmother, what was her best dish? Are we talking meatballs or like?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. She had many of them, but the meatballs were the best. And to this day, we come close, but there was something about those meatballs. I mean, I can taste them as I'm talking about them. That was very special.
Did she give you the recipe? That's the key thing.
She did. She passed it on, but she made, like I said, she was really an artist. So part of her artistry was cooking, and there's just no way to recreate an artist's signature.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, as well as doing the acting and the yoga instructing and the producing, you have also done math teaching as well, I believe. You are a
Yeah,
stand-in teacher.
it's funny because I'm not a particularly gifted math person, but I can definitely teach Algebra 1, and I love kids. And yes, I was in a school in Harlem. A teacher quit in the middle of the year, and I took over that classroom of middle schoolers in Harlem, and we had a terrific time. Actually, a wonderful experience. Those kids were great.
Did they look at you knowing your background? Were they aware that you were obviously in all of these TV shows and movies?
Well, it's funny. They've all seen The Purge, so when I feel like I'm needing to pull a card and win their admiration, I tell them that I was in some stuff, and then I show them my demo reel, and after that, it's all downhill.
I love the purge. I really want to understand, how do you prepare for a role of axe-headed man? Like what goes into that?
That particular part was designed right before the purge is activated. So, if you're not familiar, the purge is a fictional tale about a society wherein for 24 hours there's no police department, no fire, can't call 911, and it kicks in at 7 p.m. And so my character owned a mask shop, and the way they wrote it, it was like 6:55 p.m., 5 minutes before the purge. And the main character, played by Betty Gabriel, walks along, and I crafted that my job was to fortify her for what was to come. And so I did that in my own way, and it was a lot of fun.
Let's talk about your new project coming up. There's so much to talk about here. It's one of the
Yeah.
good ones. It's taken from a four-book series. How did that come about? How did that land on your desk?
Facebook is my new best friend because I got a Facebook message on November 10th of 2022 from Vincent Scarcella, who was the deputy chief counsel of the Lawyers Discipline Office in Buffalo for 18 years. And what Vinny did was he investigated bad lawyers. As a lawyer himself, he was entrusted to do that work and wrote a screenplay about it, saw me on Law and Order, sent me a Facebook message, said, "Will you read my script?" Read it, raised 18K on GoFundMe, shot a trailer on April 8th, 2023, and I just got back from shooting the feature on Thursday night.
Wow. And how much did you raise? Because you raised about 57,000 for it, I believe.
I for the feature, it ended up being $75,000. Yeah, we made our days, man. I mean, everybody ate well, the costumes, the locations, everyone was paid. We had a terrific time. And there are so many people in Buffalo and Niagara that I really will always remember. And in fact, I think I'm going back to Buffalo because I just got a call from the Buffalo Film Office. They want me to go back and produce a bunch of vertical films. There's a company out of China making films that you can watch on your iPhone, and they're shooting like several of them in Buffalo now. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year. I mean, I can't believe it's only March. Really, it's nuts.
Did you produce in the movie, or were you just acting in this one? Because you've done
I
producing
produced,
before.
I did everything on the fundraising side.
Yeah.
And then I played the lead, and I had a terrific team, which I could have not have done it without, but I was calling the shots and playing the lead. So this was the ship that I was gifted to captain, and I have to say, it came into harbor pretty safely.
Was it hard to distinguish? I mean, did you say action for yourself, or like how did that work?
No, well, that was the director's Julie O'Hora. As the executive producer, I have the authority to chime in really anytime I want, which was pretty cool. And there were like maybe two occasions where I thought something needed to be adjusted from a performance level, and chimed in. We had Rob Ray, who's a Hall of Fame Buffalo Sabre NHL player, and now the announcer of the Buffalo Sabres. And Rob was on the set. I had written a portion of the film, and Bill Kennedy, who plays Paranoid Perry, was asking him, "Hey, Razor, when do you fight? Like I saw you fight in the NHL, but when do you get into a fist fight in real life? Like what's the line of demarcation?" And and I won't tell you what Razor said because I didn't write that portion. I just wanted Rob Ray to improvise it, but it's going to get some big laughs for sure.
I can't wait. When's it coming out?
So we'll have a finished product by August 1st and have a premiere in Buffalo. And we have two distributors very interested. One's already written us a letter of intent for worldwide distribution. My goal is to have a theatrical release because obviously it's made for the big screen, and I'm sure you're going to see that too.
Man, I can't wait. Now, I did some internet searching on Tom Paolino, and I have some fast fire questions that the internet
You're
wants to
fine.
know about you, Tom.
Oh, okay, buddy, I'm ready.
Who's your favorite actor?
Are we talking male or female?
Doesn't matter.
Well, someone just asked me this question, and I'll tell you, the male was Al Pacino because what I love about Al is that, he is still doing theater and is, of course, has a body of work that has something to say about exposing corruption, and that's my jam too. And the female I mentioned was Ruth Gordon, who, if you ever saw Ruth Gordon in Rosemary's Baby or Harold and Maude, the great Ruth Gordon, yeah.
What was your first acting role?
Well, like I said, the first acting role was in the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus commercial when I was 6 years old.
Yoga in the morning or in the afternoon?
Definitely in the morning, but anytime really. In the morning, I would say is the best because then it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
What's your favorite movie?
Ordinary People. The great Robert Redford film is the one that popped in my head.
What's your go-to comfort food?
My go-to comfort food is bread.
Nice. Any particular style of bread?
Well, I just got some ciabatta. I went to Trader Joe's.
Are we gonna have some oil and some balsamic with that?
Yes, a little. Yes. I toasted it up, put a little peanut butter on it, but oil and balsamic is always a good move.
You're allowed dinner with anyone, past or present. Doesn't matter who. Who's going to be sat at your table?
Oh boy, that's a good one. Oh man, wow. I've never been asked that question before. I would say Jesus Christ would be the one that I would want.
Yeah. I mean, he can bring the food as well, I guess. So you know.
He can bring some fishes and loaves.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to buy any wine. It's all taken care of. So best hobby outside of acting?
Well, I love going camping. I love nature. Yeah.
Love it. What's the best yoga pose?
Oh, the best yoga pose is probably child's pose.
How do you do a child's pose?
So your knees are as wide as your mat, your big toes are touching under your behind, and your palms are pressing into the mat, fingers spread, and you create this wonderful length in your spine as you lean back toward your heels.
I'm going to give that a go. Straight after this, I'm going straight into child's.
That's a good one, Dave.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Probably from my old coach. Tom Eccleston was my favorite hockey coach, and I remember one day I was playing at Brown University's rink in Providence, and we were playing the Brown JV team as a prep school. I went to a prep school that had an excellent hockey program, and Coach Eck came up to me because he knew I wanted to go to Brown, and he said, "Just play your own game." That's what he said.
Love it. That's good advice.
Yeah.
And what's the role you always wanted to play?
Well, I love the play Death of a Salesman and Arthur Miller, but I also would love to play Judge Brack in the Henrik Ibsen play Hedda Gabler. Those are the ones that pop into my head when I think about doing theater, which I always will be doing. Yeah.
I love it. Tom, they are the internet's burning questions that people have been dying to ask you. They are now known, answered. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, that was fun.
I wish you all the best with the upcoming movie, and I can't wait. Tom's details can be found right here. If you want to have a look at what he's been doing, what's upcoming, everything can be found here and in the comments section below. We'll be back right after these messages.
Hi, my name's Aaron Ryan, and I am a sci-fi writer from Seattle, Washington. I wanted to introduce you to the Dissonance Quadrilogy. It's a set of 4 books that are set in the years 2026 and 2042. In 2026, an alien invasion happened. A very dystopian, post-apocalyptic environment ensued from that alien invasion. They drifted out of the sky one day. We didn't know what they were. We didn't know what they wanted. They just hovered there for 3 months. On September 3rd, 2026, they went live. They activated, and they hunted down all of mankind, killing off 85% of humanity within 3 months. As such, we're forced to live in the shadows and eke out an existence. We fight back by running. We call them Gorgons because, like the mythical Medusa the Gorgon, you cannot lock eyes with them. If you do, and they with you, they have a telepathic paralytic to freeze you where you stand and consume you at their leisure. Really bad day. So your best defense truly is to run. The series starts with the prequel, which is Dissonance Volume 0 Revelation, set in 2026, before and immediately following the invasion, and leading up to the counterstrike that happens in the year 2042, set in the trilogy of books Dissonance Volume 1 Reality, Dissonance Volume 2 Reckoning, and Dissonance Volume 3 Renegade. A climactic, powerful set of battles where we eventually, spoiler, kick the enemies to the curb. We are humans, we have to win. Good news, happy ending. Check him out today at dissonancetheseries.com. I am inordinately proud of this entire quadrilogy. Right now, Dissonance Volume 1 Reality is being adapted to the screen for Netflix, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, Prime Video. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I hope you'll check it out at dissonancetheseries.com. You can also visit authoraaronryan.com/blog and sign up on the blog. to be kept informed of future releases or anything else that's coming down the pipe related to Dissonance. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've never written anything as good as this. It is the best thing I've ever written, and I'm so grateful for how it turned out. I hope you enjoy the Dissonance quadrilogy. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a true Renaissance man, combining the precision of master painter, the passion of wildlife conservationist, and the charisma of an international television host. Renowned for his hyper-realistic portraits and evocative wildlife art, his work has graced esteemed venues like the JFK Center for Performing Arts. Beyond the canvas, he's ventured into the wilds of Cameroon to support conservation efforts for the endangered cross-river gorilla. And if that weren't enough, he brings art to life as the host of the television series When Paintings Come Alive. Please join me in welcoming the multifaceted and immensely talented Daniel Taylor.
Hello, I'm your host Daniel Taylor, and welcome to When Paintings Come Alive. Well, there we are. We're done.
Hi there. Hi, Dave. I'm doing quite well. Everything going well for you?
Everything's going really well for me. What about yourself?
Quite good. Busy all the time. Always up to something. Not mischief, but always always something good on the go.
There's nothing wrong with mischief, Daniel.
You have to talk to my wife about that.
Daniel, you are, well, you're quite the person. You run a YouTube show. You've been painting for 54 years. You've got work at the Kennedy Center. Like you've got quite a plethora of work that you've done out there.
And it continues too. I'm also critically endangered species, wildlife species conservationist. And we've been doing that since 2007.
Wow.
So we go to Africa there, and mainly our flag species is the gorillas, or the cross river gorilla, and the mountain gorilla. Yeah. So we help with programs with that, and I've got that on the go.
Awesome. So is there quite a few endangered gorillas over there, or I don't know a great deal about gorillas?
Well, the mountain gorilla is quite endangered, but even more so is what's called the cross river gorilla. Now that gorilla, there's about 350, I guess, that exist.
Wow.
And our expeditions are going out deep into the jungles trying to find these incredible cross river gorillas. And they're only about our height. They're not very big, very smart.
Yeah.
They'll actually put a stick inside the river or someplace to see how deep it is before they actually cross over.
Jeepers. Honestly, they're smarter than some people I know.
Yeah.
Why are they endangered? Is it mainly poachers that they're endangered from, or?
A lot of it's poaching over the many years. Nigeria, of course, a lot of them, if they cross over in there, they're shot, as the gorillas are. And but yeah, mainly for poaching.
Let's talk about your painting, because I'm fascinated with that. How did it all kick off? Where did it all start? Where did you get this passion? Was it as a child, or?
Oh boy, you're going back a long ways. Yeah, yeah, a long time. I was just a little guy, probably about 4 years old. I remember sitting in the kitchen, my mom's kitchen there, and sketching and that. I did a picture from the old National Geographic magazine of King Tut. It was new then.
Yeah.
And so I sketched the picture as a 4-year-old, but it looked like a much older person did it. And they had the newspaper come over and magazines come over and photograph myself, and they called me a child prodigy, and so I continued from there. I just loved it. And to tell you the truth, when I was in grade 1, I loved art so much, such a deep passion. Even as a little guy, I failed grade 1. They had to put me back again, and I still had a hard time keeping my mind on the studies. I wanted to draw, I wanted to paint. So it started as a deep passion, call it a gift, and it's been going since then, and I can't stop.
Well, I mean, it must be great to do something that you've got a passion for anyway, so.
Yeah, and even greater than that is to be able to use that outside of hanging a painting on a wall and selling it and that sort of thing, which is fine, to use it to educate other people and to help kids and to teach them as well, using the arts. So it goes well beyond just simply painting a picture.
And you've got pieces, as we said earlier, in the Kennedy Center?
Yeah, a couple of pieces there. I've been there for quite some time now. And I don't know, it's all over the world. Of recent, the Shard building in England there, the largest, the tallest building there in the UK. They used my work. It's called layering when you paint. So they used that thought in creating the glass facade on the building. Wow. And layering the glass. So that was quite an honor that they used the way I paint as an example toward their building.
Do you ever go to the Kennedy Center and see your pieces and just think, maybe I need to touch this up, or I've missed something?
I guess you can feel that way, but once you leave a piece of artwork, it's gone. It's got a life of its own.
Yeah, you've got the YouTube show. So this is When Paintings Come Alive.
Well, yeah, it's more of a go-to site. I don't really encourage it so much as a show. Right. We do have a television show. It plays, I'm not sure if it still plays in New Zealand. I know it plays in Australia and all across the United States and Canada and various places around the world as a TV series.
Oh, wow. And that's When Paintings Come Alive?
Yeah, for the last 15 plus years.
Jeez, now I've only caught some glimpses. So what is When Paintings Come Alive?
It's a very unique show. Of course, it's using the art, and it's got a story behind it. You follow a story as well as the painting itself, the subject I'm painting. It's a very subject diverse show, and it deals with all sorts of things, whether it's a skier, aeronautics, space, children, old folks, skiers. I don't know. It just goes. The sky's the limit. Well, obviously, it's beyond the sky. So yeah, and it's a very positive show. Nothing ever negative about it.
Look, it looks. I mean, if it's been going for 15 years and it's across the globe, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Really enjoy it. We just recently added in actors, live performances within the older episodes.
Yeah.
And the one we recently put out, it's called The Mighty Fraser River. Now, that was a good show as it was. We thought, well, let's put in a prospector, someone that's actually supposed to be there in the 1800s. So this fellow, Terry Holmes, he says, sure, Daniel, let's do this. Let's carry this out. So we did inserts of Terry acting as this gold prospector.
Wow. So you got the educational piece as well as the art piece. And
yeah. So it seems to be working out quite well. And if it continues the interest that it has already, then we'll do some more like that.
Oh, very cool. And I mean, talking about the educational piece, you're also an instructor as well.
Yep. Teach. Yeah, I got my students.
Is it kids or is it adults or?
It's across the board. It's kids and adults, old folks' homes. It doesn't matter. We teach as many people as we wish to, or which we of course enjoy doing. And it's a program that so many people get a kick out of it and learn. You don't have to know how to paint. You don't even have to have a real interest in painting. But once you get your hands in there and you try what I teach, you just thoroughly enjoy it. You get carried away. You live a different world. You're in a different zone.
So what's an example of that? How do you start them off?
I'll start them off. Let's say a painting, a portrait of flowers. Very simple.
Yeah.
And I'll start it with a triangle of dots, colored dots, and they'll gradually paint the petals of a flower. And then, of course, put the stem in there and it'll grow from there. And it's quite interesting because virtually every single person does their own thought, their own take on what I'm doing. And some of the works are just extraordinary.
The only thing I've ever seen is within the painting realm is a lot of people where I live go to, I think it's wine and paint, they call it.
Okay.
And they go and have a bottle of wine with some friends, and then throughout the night they're all painting the same kind of picture, and then it all comes out differently. And as the wine flows, the painting slurs slightly.
Well, it's basically the same thing, you know. And yeah, there's the premise of it is for them to have fun.
Now, I've got some fast fire art questions for you, Daniel, if you're up for
Of course.
All right.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Favorite color?
Gee, now you really caught me. Blue.
Brushes or palette knives?
Both.
Oh.
And as both, yeah. And as far as paints, I started out as an oil painter and got into acrylics. And the reason I do acrylics, I'm known as a high realist artist, very realistic paintings.
Yes.
And so painting acrylic, and I do it in very thin coats, it's quick to dry, so I'm able to do that. Whereas oil, I can't do that as fast. I have to wait.
Digital or traditional art?
Oh, not digital. No. I'm an old timer.
Best artist in history?
Besides me? No.
That's a fine answer.
No, I don't know. I have so many of them, but I tend to go back to the times of the Renaissance and that sort of thing. The masters of the past.
Sketchbook, essential or optional?
For me, it's optional.
Ah.
It used to be essential, but now because of expeditions I do, when I go down to jungles, let's say, and that I'll do quick sketches of the environment, a lot of photographs, and I'll take that back with me and I'll create a painting from it.
Morning or night for creativity?
I don't know. You know, Dave, it can be anytime.
Art studio, messy or tidy?
I don't have an art studio anymore.
Ah.
Because doing high realist work, photorealist work, I can take it anywhere with me, and it doesn't matter. So I could sit in the living room, watch TV, or I like company, I like noise, I like people around.
Work in silence or with music?
Both.
Okay.
I enjoy life around me.
Abstract or realism?
Realism, right across the board.
Biggest artist influence?
Again, we're going back to the Renaissance.
Okay.
So right across the board with that. Yeah, Michelangelo.
That's the fast fire question. So that now tells us that you are a well-known and established artist. These are proven scientific questions.
Were they?
No.
What are you trying to tell me?
So what's next for you, Daniel?
Well, I'm busy working on the show right now, and I've been doing private paintings. I call them private paintings. They're separate artwork for people I know and friends and relatives. I haven't done that in a long time. And so I have grandkids and great grandkids. So I'm doing I just did a picture of my great granddaughter. And it worked out quite nice. So yeah, I'm working on that sort of thing. And before I get myself back into high realism, the real high realism. And it takes 1 year to do one painting.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know if you saw the picture of the gorilla. I did that in public for a year. It's called a mountain gorilla. And of course, that was toward the preservation of the mountain gorillas. And so that went quite well. I don't know if you understand high realist art. It means the analogy that I have it's like mountain climbing. I used to do a little bit of mountain climbing, and it's like freehand going solo, using just your fingertips. And of course, one mistake and you're gone. Bye. Whereas painting, one mistake in my case, you can maybe correct it a bit, but usually no. And of course, you don't fall down to oblivion, but you have to start all over again. 1 year again, over again. So you just call the first one a test, and that way you'll keep your sanity. You know?
Daniel, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. For any of your website and details, you'll be able to find the details right here. And people will be able to go onto your website. They'll be able to have a look at the shows that you've been creating. And more importantly, they'll be able to see your beautiful artwork that you've got out there.
Oh, I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to the Free Mind Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Free Mind Podcast. This is Rob Lee and we are doing acro yoga.
And welcome to Empathy and Espresso Podcast. I'm your host, Carrie.
All right, man, I got some questions for sweet.
Welcome to the first ever YouTube show.
You know my story, right? Rise to fame from the pain.
Next up, we're about to hear music from Debbie Price, and this is her song, the Neverland Inn Song.
On the banks by the Holston stands an inn called Netherland, a boatyard, a stagecoach stop on the great old stage road. People came traveling west, stayed at the inn in search of new beginnings for their loved ones and their lives. On the banks by the Holston stands an inn called Netherland, a boatyard, a stagecoach stop on the great old stage road. In the year 1818, the building became an inn when it was purchased by Richard Netherland. On the banks by the Holston stands an inn called Netherland, a boatyard, a stagecoach stop on the great old stage road. From families to presidents stayed at the inn, and the inn still stands today to remind us. On the banks by the Holston stands an inn called Netherland, a boatyard, a stagecoach stop on the great old stage road. On the banks by the Holston stands an inn called Netherland, a boatyard, a stagecoach stop on the great old stage road.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Huge thank you to our guests, Tom Paolino, Daniel Taylor, and Debbie Price. We'll catch you next time.